we're already in the game.
And here, already in the game as well, is our Zerg player. He shows some fantastic Infestor play, doing with Infestors what Monster could not.
YugiOh.
Well, actually, I guess Monster did well with Infestors in Game 3 of that series, but there he is, Slayer's YugiOh, and here is his opponent, qualified for Code 8 twice by going through the crazy prelims.
ShinyStar.
Love ShinyStar.
It was a pretty intense ShinyStar
Really vocal fan for
yeah.
ShinyStar here. And by the way, thanks again to Sony Ericsson and G-Skill for making some fantastic technology products.
Yeah, I actually once had a Sony Ericsson phone. It's one of my favorite phones I ever had.
What happened to it?
Well, I just got a new one.
Oh, okay.
There was no problems with the phone. It was like one of the top of the line phones at its time. But you know, everyone's got to get it.
So, like 4 months ago?
Well, that Forge placement right there, I believe, is a wall-off, but even so, on this map, Forge Fast Expanding isn't as popular as Sentry Expanding because it's very difficult to wall off
really
that area.
wide.
It's very wide open.
It looks like ShinyStar has a plan here to, like, make a really wide choke with his gate and maybe a core and another pylon or something.
Yeah, he went Forge into gate, which is not very common. Of course, he saw his opponent went for somewhat of an early pool. He's going for a pool first build, not a gas first. But even so, it's not absolutely necessary that he gets the gateway up, so we may be seeing something unusual. I'm guessing he's still going to make a Nexus, but the gateway is usually something that's skipped. Of course, the gateway he's using as part of a wall-off here.
Yeah.
But with the way his buildings are placed, it's not really an easy way for Zerglings to get by anyway, so it might be a little bit too preemptive. Now, he, of course, wants to make his hatchery. He's just being so annoying with that probe. The Zergling is going to deter that probe.
He actually makes a pylon. That's actually surprising.
Yeah, usually you don't do that with a pool first because the Zerglings are already out. He didn't really buy that much time with that pylon.
Yeah, and he was saving up for Nexus too, so he actually delayed his own Nexus as much as the hatchery.
Exactly. Well, he's finishing off his wall here. Looks like the gateway was just clearly to be used as part of his wall.
Yep. Although there is a gap in that wall. I actually wouldn't be very wise to try and run Zerglings by, but unless he made more of them. But the probe is actually still extant in the base of the Zerg YugiOh, so he can see if he makes more Zerglings. And he spots those drones popping out, so he knows that he's not going to try and break him or anything right now. He's got a little time to spare.
Yeah,
he doesn't need a zealot.
Exactly. He's going to keep that probe position there. It's a little trick you can do in StarCraft. You can do it in StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2. Put a probe in the position to block off. So the Zerglings, if you try to have them just regularly attack, they'll attack the cannon instead of the probe. And they won't walk by. You have to manually target the probe and then run by, and that takes so long that your Zerglings just won't get by generally, even if you have a lot of them. Although we saw MC today fail to block using those very same probes.
Oh, MC.
Well, now he's going to complete his wall off with the Cybernetics core as his Nexus finishes.
And now that we finally see the entirety of his plan, that's a pretty nice wall, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Solid wall, got a cannon behind the core. A couple weak points at the pylons, but it's okay.
Well, both players have just been completely... I was going to say try to combine droning and probing into one word, but it's not.
Drobing?
Yeah, drobing up. Proning up, I don't know. Yeah, they're just workering up. It's the best way to... They're getting worked up. Rochewarren going down for YugiOh. He's getting really worked up. He wants to put on some pressure. Now, with this type of wall-off, it's actually really easy to poke with roaches. And when you were saying it was a good wall-off earlier, it's good in the sense that it's tight.
Against Lings.
Yeah, it's good in the sense that it's tight. But when these roaches come down here, they're going to be able to pick away at the forge and possibly even this gateway that sticks up at the front. Depending on how he micros them, the core is definitely going to be exposed as well.
Yeah.
So I think this is a really good choice. And 7 roaches, 8 roaches in production right now for YugiOh.
Yep, Overlord peeking in there to see what's going on with that wall, and then it's going to get it right back out.
Wants to see how many gates are being added as well, but that sentry says no.
The Overlord's like, hee, oh, that tickles me, oh, I gotta get out of here.
He's being tickled to death, man. I think he actually isn't going to get out of there.
Actually, he might die. Death by tickling. We didn't want you guys to watch it because it was so brutal, but he was in fact tickled to death.
He was tickled to death. And
didn't see these gateways going down.
As he's chased out, the gateways being added. He's going up to 4 gates. Pretty common to see. These Zerglings getting a little ahead of themselves. Wanted to see where the cannons are placed, though. Sees that there are, in fact, only 2 cannons now. These roaches are probably going to be able to hit this core. He's actually going to target down the cannon, though.
Oh, wow.
He wants to end this game right now. Targets down the cannon, and now he's relatively exposed. He's going to target down the second cannon. That one sentry is trying to put down some force fields, and it's helping out, but the core is still taking so much damage.
Yeah, he doesn't have the energy to keep force fielding. That core might go down. He puts a gateway down at the last second in the way, but the cannon is going to be destroyed. These roaches have free reign to kill whatever they want. Now Zergling's going to work as well.
Now he needs to target down these cannons, but they're just barely out of range of the roaches. The pylon's going to fall, though, and he's not actually prepared to wall it up. They're getting force fields in the wrong location, but even so, the cannon's finished, and YugiOh is going to have to back up here. But even so, he's forced more cannons. He's actually forced 4 additional cannons, and he still can pick off the gateway.
Yeah, he can pick off the gateway and actually gets that extra cannon. And so now he can start picking off pylons and forges.
Yeah, he can get the forge.
And sentries if he gets to...
don't want to get too eager. Well, apparently they want to, but they shouldn't be...
At the front! Roaches
He's actually trying to break these cannons, which is not a smart idea. Some Zerglings get into the main, though, and they do have Zergling speed now, so he's just going to continue to be annoying with those. He may actually get the sentry as well.
Oh, no, that would be horrible.
Nice control, though, by ShinyStar. Does save the sentry. Pulls a lot of probes in the process, though.
We didn't catch a glimpse of it, but basically the roaches dashed in. There was only 2 sentries there, so they just actually ran in while the sentries were trying to poke at them and killed the sentries. And
Pylon going down as well there, and things are looking, you know, it looks really grim from ShinyStar when you watch this, but actually
it's actually not that
units. Yeah.
It's not that bad actually because
he's got a Spire
stable.
going up. He's ahead in workers, 52 drones to 46 SCV or 46 probes rather.
Yeah, he's going to stabilize off of this, and then he's probably going to be okay after that. For some reason, YugiOh is putting down 5 spine crawlers. I'm really not actually sure about that.
Well, he saw the 4 gates. He knows there's a robo up. He knows he can have a mortals. He might.
I guess that's true. With that many gateways, he can put on an army pretty quickly. Except, guess what? You killed his core before it finished warp gate, so he doesn't even have warp gate tech yet.
Exactly. He did, however, he knows about the robotic support bay. Actually, he hasn't quite seen the support bay yet. It's just out of his vision. He doesn't know about the Colossi, but I think he knows it's the next logical step. That's why he's getting a Spire. He wants to go Mutas. Mutas are really good on this map. You can counterattack with them very easily. It's not easy for ground armies to move across the middle of the map on Crossfire. They have to walk up a bunch of ramps. So Mutas can really abuse that. Warp gate research still not done, as our observers highlight.
It's so funny to see. It's so funny to see stalkers coming out of so many like regular gateways.
That was so funny. He went to destroy his wall so he could get out, and then a bunch of Zerglings came, so he had to add 2 pylons.
And it looks like he's not going to cancel that either.
He didn't cancel his pylons, so now he's going to have to kill them again. Oh, there's a little bit of a space.
Never mind, there's a gap. So he is going to move out here, and so this is... the spines, I knew they were necessary, but I figured they were a little preemptive, I guess, is what I was getting at. Because now they're going to be necessary. Now that this very large army, all he has to do is warp in 1 more round of units, and he'll have a pretty significant army.
Yeah, the Mutas are out. The Mutas need to go ASAP, though, and make sure that ShinyStar stays in his base, because if he waits too long and ShinyStar's army's at his doorstep, he's not really going to be able to use those Mutas as well as he wanted to. This Roach is in trouble.
Although... there's several sentries, but there's only... well, never mind. He warped in more stalkers, so he's actually going to have enough stalkers to deal with these mutas also. So this is crunch time for YugiOh right now.
6 more mutas coming out. He's going to give him a total of 15. But this army's at his doorstep. Range is done. He can continue to poke at the crawlers if he wants to. He's got Immortal in the mix as well. He's got 2 Colossi with range now. And he's just going to continue to poke at these spine crawlers, doing so much damage to both of those. The Mutas, though, are doing a nice counterattack. There's no answer for those. Guardian Shield goes up. He's going to try to break here, and I think he can.
Yeah, he easily can. YugiOh doesn't have anything here at all to defend this with. His entire supply is in Mutalisks and a few Zerglings that are running in for counterattack. Actually, it's just mostly Mutal. No, he does have some Zerglings running around the side as well, but he's going to get so many probes with these Mutas before they get down to the expansion where the cannons are. But he loses his own natural in the process.
He does have a 3rd base up, though. And in fact, ShinyStar doesn't know about it. He's not sending his units there right away. I think he's got to realize now what's going on. He's sending them over there now, yeah.
Yeah, he must know it exists. Just He must be able to infer, I guess, that it exists. He
There
does
are
have a lot of
mutas, though. 8 more on the way. It's going to give him a total of 22. These Stalkers are actually warping into Mutalist Fire. That's not a good place to warp.
Not at all.
Wants to get this pylon because that'll stop the reinforcements. Decides to back away, though. There are too many Stalkers.
Those mutas are doing their job in that they're keeping ShinyStar from just finishing him off.
Yeah, in fact, he's adding 4 more mutas. He's about to be up to 26. He's got so many mutas that he's actually going to be able to push ShinyStar finally back all the way home, I think, if he continues to counterattack like this.
Yeah.
Adding a few spines to the top of his third base as well, so he can buy time there as well. And here come the mutas. There are only 2 photon cannons here. Doing so much damage. The bounce damage actually killing probes before he even attacks the probes.
Having to kill off a few more cannons here. But there's actually, he may just kill those last few cannons and open up the front door for Zerglings to help as well if he decides to send those.
Probes are running to join the army of ShinyStar. We are going to have, by the looks of it, some sort of base trade scenario.
Yeah, this is crazy. And
Spinecrawler's trying to do work to hold off this attack at the third base, but I don't think it's going to be enough. There's too many Stalkers. There's that same Immortal doing a ton of damage.
And it looks like the mutas are being sent back to deal with the threat to try and finish off the army. If he can hold off that army and keep his main, the Zerglings can finish off ShinyStar's main very easily. Here he comes in with the mutas.
Here. The mutas have to be very careful. Needs to pick off Stalkers extremely carefully. All he needs to do is keep the Stalker count low and he should be fine. Now, right now, ShinyStar has he's going to have about 400 minerals or so when when his base is being destroyed, once these probes stop mining, because the Zerglings are going to kill them right now. So he's going to have about 400 minerals, 393 to be precise. And that's not enough for another Nexus, so he's going to be revealed quite soon.
But the thing is also, does he have any probes anywhere on the map?
He's got 13 probes. They're with his main army.
But here's, YugiOh's actually just going to have to defend this, though.
Yeah, he doesn't have any drones out.
He actually could just lose all of his buildings first. He's trying to target down the Stalkers. Zergling's coming in from the side as well. He knows if he can kill those Stalkers, he wins the game.
The Stalker count is falling, but still, I think he may have enough. There are 11 Stalkers and 1 Sentry left. 8 Stalkers, 7
and he dances the Zerglings around the Colossi. Oh my gosh.
3 Stalkers left and 16 Mutalists. It looks like YugiOh has done it. He's held the attack. The Colossi trying to target down as many drones as possible, but that is going to be it.
Wow, the probes were going to work on those last drones as well, doing their job in the war effort, trying to go for an attack, but they're going to get killed off, and massive amounts of Zerglings popping out to go and finish off ShinyStar's base. GG! ShinyStar has qualified for Code A to get eliminated in the round of 32 twice. Congrats to YugiOh, though. That was hilarious. He's like, I know I haven't beat, I'm just going to dance my Zerglings in front of the Colossi.
Yeah, it was hard to say who was really going to come out on top there, but YugiOh knew.
He knew.
And ShinyStar, he's got his new I Am shirt on, possibly. I keep saying that. It's looking pretty conclusive with that shirt.
It's conclusive?
It's looking conclusive,
Maybe he just likes to eat that kind of chicken.
It's not chicken. We talked about this already.
Not chicken. I don't know why I keep thinking it's a chicken restaurant.
Whatever.
Isn't everything that sponsors everything in StarCraft a chicken restaurant?
Whenever Moletrap sees those little wings, it makes him think of chicken. We actually had a discussion about this yesterday.
Bakari chicken.
He was like, "What is that? Is that a chicken sponsor?" I was like, "No, it's a clothing company."
Oh man, I am just out of it today.
He saw it on some Korean girl. The Korean girl was wearing a Gugum shirt, and he was like, "Is this related to Incredible Miracle? Is that girl sponsored by a chicken company?" It's like, no, Moletrap. That doesn't make any sense.
I didn't get any sleep last night, man. I'm hallucinating today. Give me a break. Oh, man.
Well, that was a really intense game. I actually thought ShinyStar was going to be able to take it. I thought he had enough Stalkers, but with the Zerglings there, I thought that might have turned the tide, but then he danced the Zerglings, and he just barely had enough mutas, and...
Well, it's because normally you wouldn't really want to attack that situation with Zerglings just because they'll die to the Colossus, but there was just enough of them, and they did enough distraction, they did enough sort of side damage to the Stalkers that enabled the mutas to just clean up, because he was just targeting the Stalkers and sentries with the mutas, and once there was only like a couple Stalkers left, he knew his 15 mutas could just kill everything.
Exactly.
And that was pretty much it.
Yeah, that was pretty much it, man. And, YugiOh, I saw in his play today a little bit of fear. I felt like he he wanted to do all-ins. He 6-pooled, and then he did a Roach Ling all-in. So,
Yep.
anyway, we're going to take a 5-minute break. We'll see you guys in 5.